is a book about fighting, in which the main theme follows themes of bad materialism. Not what are you doing?
keep rolling.
Stop elevating.
No, it's part of it.
Okay.
Keep rolling.
Nihilism, and just general boredom and the problems of being trapped in a modern society.
It's representative. Just keep going.
Yes,
keep going,
when materialism is what defines a person. And so our main guy, the narrator, works as an insurance guy, and what he does is that he works his boring job, and he's also a terrible person. Because in his job, what he does is that he how cars have problems, they still have to do recalls. He determines if the recall would be more expensive than the lawsuit for not doing the recall. So for example, he knew there was this chemical in the car that could cause toxicity to pregnant women, but they left it in because they determined that the recall would be more expensive than the eventual lawsuit. So he's a terrible person. And so now he hates his life too, because he just lives in his condominium with IKEA furniture, and he feels trapped by his furniture. He spends pretty much all day when he's not working and screwing people over, going through his IKEA catalog and deciding which cabinet he wants to buy. And so he has a horrible life basically, and he begins to develop insomnia. He begins to develop insomnia because he's so just tired of his life and how lame it is, and he gets worried that he's wasting his life. And so he goes on this trip one time, and he's flying around, because he flies around all the time. And he flies around because he goes to these different cancer support groups that he goes to try and find meaning in his life. That's why he goes to these cancer support groups. And what he does there is he basically just kind of
quick asterisk, his doctor told him insomnia is no big deal because you can't die from it. So this thing that's driving him insane got basically dismissed by his doctor.
Yeah, so he's like an Atrium Health doctor basically. And
can we do that? Can we call out corporations?
We can. Sydney's texting you. Anyway, so yeah, he does that, and he goes to these cancer help centers because it makes him feel better about himself, because all these people are going to die instantaneously, and it makes him feel better about his horrible life. And then he hugs the cancer patients and he feels whole. And then this lady shows up.
Big Bob.
Yes, Big Bob. There's this guy called Big Bob who hugs him. He's a fat man, and our narrator loves Big Bob. Big Bob always makes him cry and give him hugs, and once the narrator cries, he feels a lot better about himself.
Big Bob has D cups.
Yes, he does.
That's not me being juvenile. That's a big point in the
book. They actually spend several paragraphs.
This ponytail.
Stop. Hold on.
Sorry, I got distracted.
They spend several paragraphs describing Big Bob's large body size, basically. Yes. Yeah. And so anyway, he meets this girl called Marla.
We didn't forget. That was part of it. That was a skit. That was planned.
Marla Singer, and she's a faker too. She also doesn't have cancer, and she knows he's faking, and so they stare at each other, and so they trade off cancer groups. He's like, you can have all the cancer groups, but I need the testicle cancer group. And then she's like, yes. So then he goes, and he just kind of. I forgot something. Yes, they do hug at one point. After, for some reason, they hug. Well, because he hugs all the cancer people, and he hugs Marla because she's there. So after the hug,
it's part of the cancer support group.
I said that. I just said
it. It's gonna sound like God is saying it. It's gonna sound like God came into the video.
Shush, you're ruining it. Be quiet.
Sorry, we're gonna edit this in Premiere.
We're not.
We're gonna fix it in post.
Be quiet, so we can finish. We're already 3 minutes in, okay? Or 4 minutes in, actually.
Okay.
Be quiet. Shut up. Stop talking.
Okay.
After he goes. Move your head. You're ruining it. Give me the phone. After he goes and he's flying around. He travels all the time, and he meets this guy called Tyler Durden, who he also finds on the airplane with him from time to time. And
they're doing demonstration. This is Tyler Durden. This is Joe. They're seeing each other on. Joe is the narrator's name, by the way.
It's not. This name is not Joe.
We have debate about that, but it's either point is literarily valid, and either point is valid for this presentation. So we're not gonna get class taken off. So
okay, sure.
This is the narrator, and this is Tyler Durden. And Tyler Durden flies around because he sells soap, and the narrator flies around because he has a boring corporate job that he has to fly around for. So they're seeing each other on flights every once so often. That's how they know each other. They're just doing this in their life.
Okay, here you go. Hold it again so I can.
I'm holding it again. Okay.
Don't mess around with it. Okay, so Tyler, they're leaving. Okay. Anyway,
don't worry about it. They don't understand the grind set like we do.
Tyler. So he meets with Tyler Durden. Tyler Durden is a soap sales guy, and he sells soap, and he also knows all these weird details about explosives. He's like, oh, you can mix orange juice and soap and create a bomb. And so he talks about that.
Using gasoline.
And so he talks about that. 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 And so he it's not really important, but whatever. So he
Napalm.
knows all these explosive facts,
Uh-huh.
and so they go about their business, and eventually they get drunk. After the guy's apartment blows up, his apartment explodes because he left the pilot light on of the stove, and then the fridge activated, and there was an explosion, and hold on,
Give us
we'll be there in a minute.
Give us 6 minutes. We'll be inside.
Just leave us. Yeah. Anyway. Yeah. Bye.
Thanks. Okay, just a couple minutes.
We're in
We'll
the
be
middle.
right back.
We're in the
We'll be
middle
right
of our
in there.
take right now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
So that's gonna be in there.
That's okay. We'll cut it out.
No, we're gonna be long. We're gonna be
I'm
shorter
just
than
gonna go to
14 minutes.
the iPhone.
Wait, shush. We need to actually start.
iMovie.
We actually keep going. We need to keep
Movie
going.
maker.
Shush.
Okay.
Okay. So so he goes with Tyler Durden, and they start a fight club after he goes and drinks with Tyler Durden after his apartment explodes, and so they're hanging out. They drink and they get. And I did already.
Okay.
And they get in a fight, and then after the fight, they decide to start a fight club.
Tyler wins.
Tyler does.
Tyler
yeah,
wins the
yeah.
fight easily.
Tyler wins.
It's worth noting.
Yes, and they start a fight club, and they're fighting. They have all these other people. Big Bob joins.
Big Bob gets jacked.
Big Bob does
Big
get
Bob
jacked.
gets
Yeah, to be able to be able to fight in Fight Club, and also Marla shows up, but she doesn't really fight. I don't think she just kind of hangs out.
She just kind of hangs out.
She kind of hangs out in their house.
She's like a casual hookup with Tyler.
Yeah,
essentially.
she's
and also
she's having intercourse with Tyler with
Marlo is threatening to commit suicide, and Tyler and Joe showed up to her house right before the cops showed up to talk her down from committing suicide, and then went in her apartment and grabbed her, and then they all left. So Marla is like missing. As far as the authorities
are concerned,
they don't know where she is.
Yeah. So then
I was Tourette's.
Okay, so then, after that, they start a fight club, and Tyler begins planning this terrorist group called Project Mayhem, and he recruits all these people he calls space monkeys in order to be terrorists, and, they all do terrorism together. It's a big happy thing.
That's not an exact, it literally is just terrorism.
Yeah.
It's just terrorism. There's no,
and a big theme, and big part of Tyler's theme, which is the overall theme of the book, is sort of like, meeting rock bottom.